Welcome back to another Sounhound video. Let's talk about the earnings that came out. As you can see on my chart, we are down $1.11. It did dump over 15%. That I don't think anyone should be surprised. That's why I said, hey, people are taking profits. These two red days, people were taking profits because no one wants to be the one holding it. So no one should be surprised that we had a dump on earnings. But it is interesting to note that under $6, or to be more specific, between $5.50 and $6, we're getting dip buyers here. We'll see if it means anything. On its own, it doesn't mean much. On its own, it doesn't mean much. We need to wait until next week, Monday, because it is Friday. Usually Fridays, people tend to sell off. And the market right now, it's not exactly, we're kind of not going anywhere if we look at other stocks. So look at this stock; it's kind of, eh. This one's not moving much either. Like stocks aren't really there's no significant moves on a bunch of stocks today. Even Bitcoin miners aren't jumping around like crazy. So pretty muted Friday, as some articles like to call it, muted. But the fact that people are stepping in, buying the dip, that reminds me of this, where people kept buying the dip every time it would come down to a certain level. So I'm going to keep a close eye on it, see how it moves. It's still an AI stock, it still has potential, and we can't discount the fact that NVIDIA invested in it. I'm sure they invested in it for a reason. So now let's touch on, yeah, let's go over earnings. And I'm gonna pull up the TradingView financials as well. Let me just pull that up for you guys. TradingView financials, down stock. Because I actually have not looked at their financials. I mainly was just trying to ride the hype. Because you guys know when a stock gets AI hype, anything related to AI, if the company even mentions AI, it just explodes. But let's see. Let's go to the annual. Well, that's not it. Let's look at this here before we even go over the article. Let's look at total revenue, quarter one 2022, and let's work our way till quarter three 2023. You'll notice 6 million, then it jumped up to 11 million in total revenue, 9.5, then 6.7, 8.75, then 13 million, 13.27 million quarter three 2023. Revenue growth, Q4 revenue surged by 80% to 17.1 million. So that was a pretty sizable increase. Although, well, I don't know why it's saying it's 80%. Q4 revenue surged 80%, but that's, I don't know, 80% to, that's not what it's showing here. It's 13 million, no, 80% of 13 million is not, yeah, maybe. So there you go, guys, 80 million, 80% increase. Combined cumulative subscriptions and bookings backlog reached 661 million, doubling year over year. Net loss was decreased, which is to be expected when you're making more money. Total cash balance exceeded 200 million. 2024 revenue projected between 63 and 77 million, with a 2025 target exceeding 100 million, which is that's a pretty big outlook if you think about it for a second, because I just showed you the financials. If like they're saying that they expect anywhere between 63 and 77 million this year, and then they project to exceed that 100. Yeah, they project to exceed 100 million in 2025. And I just showed you, since quarter one 2022, if we look at the total revenue, it's been pretty lackluster, right? 6 million, 11 million, 13 million. So they're projecting like way more than this, like a lot more, like a huge increase. So if that's what they're projecting, and we are to believe them, that's a lot. That's a lot, guys. Like, just think of the numbers there. Big numbers can make people get excited. That moves the share price a lot, and we make money. So that's why I'm still going to keep an eye on this one. I'm going to still keep track of this one, especially because the dip it did get bought up. It got bought up again. Like holy crap! I thought it was going to dump after that, after bad earnings, but it looks like people are still very much interested in the stock. I'm going to keep a close eye on it for yet another bull flag, like it did here, another trading range bull flag, whatever you want to call it. Let me get my segment lines here, but maybe we create a bull flag somewhere around here, and then we'd look either for the breakout or we'd look to buy the dip down here under $6. We'll see how that. We'll see over the coming week how that plays out. We don't want to jump in blindly right now because we don't know if this is going to hold, especially on a Friday. We'll wait to see what happens and how the stock price moves in the coming days and weeks to buy in. Because again, we want to buy in cheap. I'm a cheapskate. Give it back to me. I want it at $4 again. Hell, $2. I want cheap. But they are projecting some pretty big numbers for this year and next year. So that's something to keep in mind for the next couple of earnings. Because if they blow through Wall Street estimates, this thing could explode. There's nothing. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I should be interested in here. The losses highlighted the company's ongoing investments in research and development, as well as sales and marketing efforts to capture a larger share of the rapidly evolving AI market. So yeah, I don't think there's much else to talk about here, but they're projecting some pretty big numbers because they've never even reached the 20 million mark. They barely reached what 18 million this, yeah, 17.1 million in revenue, and they're projecting full year 2024 revenue to be in the range of 63 to 77. That's a lot. Because, like I said, if we do the math, they've never gotten anywhere near that. There's 4 quarters times 10 million every quarter. It's like 40, 50 million at most that they've reached. Since they're all over the place, because I just showed you that on the TradingView financials. So, especially because they want to achieve 100 million plus. And if they're underselling these numbers here, 63 to 77 million, I mean, we could end up, they could end up beating that. It's absolutely possible. I'm sure Nvidia did not invest in this for funsies. Hey, let's just throw some money around. In that case, let me just start an AI company and throw money at me, please, Nvidia. I promise you, my AI company that I totally am making up right now, it's gonna go somewhere. So much potential. Give me that research money. But no, seriously, a lot of potential with this one. Buyers pretty much showing us where to buy under $6. But I want to, let's do what we did down here. But let's be patient and wait and see how it moves in the coming week more than anything. That should tell us what's next for this stock. I still believe $10 is not, it's not impossible. Unfortunately, it didn't beat down earnings. If it had, it would have done the opposite. It would have broken through $7 and probably went up to 10 plus quite easily. I mean, we saw Beyond Meat go up quite a bit. Let me look at that again. Yeah, look, you saw it gap up all because it mentioned AI. Like, that is ridiculous. I mean, what is Beyond Meat? Isn't it just some food company? Like, what is? I don't think I want AI in my food. You know what I'm saying? I know some of you are probably disappointed. Like, oh man, I wish this thing had gone. I wish this thing had gone, but it didn't go. Um, it's still a good opportunity. By the way, I was just joking about the Beyond Meat AI, but But I'll see you guys in the next one. I think that's all I have to say. We like buying cheap. Let's buy it cheap. Let's wait and see if it gives us even cheaper. If it starts trading within a range like it did last time here and it's going to repeat this pattern, let's take advantage of these bull flags and continue to play the breakout and ride it up. Or as far as it goes. If it's going to go to $20 like AI, if it's going to go to 30, then we'll take it. Why not? Even AI is getting its dip bought here. Interesting. All right, guys. I'll see you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.